What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. So this is how you avoid normie time. First off, this is the first thing you have to do above anything else is you need to chisel in your mind. You need to keep this penciled in, which is the idea that every day is Monday. It's a Monday state of mind. It is a Monday mood. In my mind, every day is Monday. And I'll tell you why I go about life with that sort of mentality, which is that the same sort of feeling of stepping into a new week. I want to feel that every day. And obviously there's going to be some days where I'm off, right? Where we have our off days. But nevertheless, there is something to the idea of always thinking that every day is Monday, regardless of what day it is. Every day is spiritually a Monday in my mind. And I've kept this mentality for a long time because I'm not looking forward to the end of anything. I'm not looking forward to a break or a Friday or a Friday. I think it's absolutely baffling to me that people start celebrating and they start ticking off the boxes and start counting down. Only 4 more days to the end of the week. Only 3 more days to this. And it's just like, what are you talking about? Because look, if you stretch that logic to its final conclusion, what you end up getting is death. Okay? The end of mortality, the end of your being. These people that look forward to the weekend to do what? To watch Netflix and binge eat and do a bunch of dumb stuff, or the people that look forward to the breaks, the winter breaks, the spring breaks, the summer breaks, to do what? To frolic and not do anything. It's not like you're doing anything cool with your time. So what's the rush? The end to get to what? Because one thing is, for one thing to end, another thing must begin. So that's something also to keep in mind. These people that go about life, always looking forward to Friday, I think they're monsters, and I think they should be burned. And God knows what else should be done to them. But you know what I like to do, just to kind of ruffle some feathers and get them a little bent out of shape on Friday, as they're celebrating with ping pongs and confetti in the air. I like to remind them it's almost Monday. Okay. If that doesn't piss them off, I don't know what will. And look, and this is the thing, you got to keep this in mind. I like to think of time in my mind, right? To avoid normie time is I like to think of time in increments of summers. Okay. I've already gone through 36 summers. Average lifespan of a man, give or take, is around 70. I've already burned through half my summers. So I have about half my summers left. If, God grants me, the ability to enjoy the rest of my summers, on average, I'd be able to have another 35 if I'm lucky. Right. So I have to be able to thoroughly enjoy the time that I have on this earth. And there's something to the idea of reminding yourself that, in order to love life, you have to be comfortable with the fact that it will eventually run out, right? The time will cease to exist for you in this life. And so at the very least, you give yourself that sort of sense of urgency, because that's really the only way to avoid that Friday mentality, this happy hour kind of, tribal sort of mindset, which is like, I just want to get to the end of the week. And then they drag their feet on a Monday, and it's just like, what is this? What kind of life is this? I mean, for me, it's just like I can never go about my time in this type of way. It would be anxiety for me. It would be nothing but anxiety that I don't know if I could get out of that. And it's funny because now, because I don't really pay attention to the day, I don't even know what time it is. Like, I'll walk into a coffee shop and I'll be like, can I get a cortado, or can I get a little shot of espresso? And they're like, it's 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. Right? And I'm like, well, what is that? I don't understand the significance of that, because I don't even know what time it is. And they're like, well, we're closed. And I'm like, all right, well, but see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not really too caught up on the time. And I think one of the ways that you can get away from normie time, another way that you can get away from it, is simply being in the circadian rhythm. I started waking up for Ramadan at 5 a.m. to break my fast. And I did this, and I started really getting in tune with time in that regard, with the seasons, right? With the sun up and sun down. I would get up before the sun and I would watch the sun rise. And there was something really that I had been missing up until that point that I finally got when I practiced Ramadan. It was my first Ramadan. And so I was very cognizant of when the sun came up midday, and then obviously when the sun went down, and it just was something that I had never really been in touch with that, because why would I, right? I got a phone that tells me what time it is. Who cares, right? I eat whenever I want. I wake up whenever I want. And now, you know, I came away with the whole concept of time in a very different way. One that's more in tune with nature and the seasons and things of that nature. But anyhow, that is my sort of 2 cents on the ideas. Is if you want to avoid normie time, you really got to have a Monday state of mind. I hope this helps, and I'll see you in the next.